Genesis of the Remnant Lds Church. The selection of 7 apostles of the Remnant Lds Church. Part 3. When the appointed time arrived, the committee met at the home of Elder Hobart in Independence, Missouri. After a period of worship, it was agreed that Elders Gough and Faulk would write the names of 4 men each of them felt were to be included, and Elder Hobart would then tell whom his list of 4 included. When the names of the first 4 men were presented, with each man list previously known only to himself, the presence of the Holy Spirit filled the room. Then came the validation of the presence of the good Spirit, as it became evident that the list of the first 4 names presented by each member of the committee was the same as that of his brethren. With grateful and joyful hearts, a prayer of praise and thanksgiving was offered. Although it had initially been planned that the final 3 names were to be submitted at a subsequent meeting, Brother Gough raised a question as to whether the other 2 members of the committee were ready to present their list of the other 3 names. The other 2 brethren responded they had, in fact, already felt led to complete their list of 7 names and, therefore, were prepared to proceed with submitting them at that time. The same procedure used for presenting the first 4 names was once again utilized. When the final 3 names were laid before the committee, it was a most gratifying and uplifting experience, as it was discovered that the second list was also the same for each of the committee members. There was unanimous agreement on all 7 names. The experience of the committee during this selection process was one that was unusually gratifying and strengthening because of the strong and sure support of the Holy Spirit throughout. The first part of the task had been completed well before the original deadline as of July 18, 2000. In a later inspired message to the people of the church in attendance at the reunion in Wilburton, Oklahoma, held during the last full week of June 2000, the assurance was given that, because of the prayerful support of the people, the selection of the 7 men had been completed much more easily than could have been otherwise expected. Now that the names of the men had been revealed to them and agreed upon, it was the responsibility of the committee members to contact the 7 men to determine each man equals S willingness to accept his call and serve as an especial witness, if approved by conference action. It should be noted that the committee members had petitioned the Lord through prayer, asking that, prior to being contacted, each man would have an experience that would prepare him and give him assurance of his call. Each man was then sought out individually and privately told of his call. Members of the committee shared their testimonies of the divinity of the call, spoke of the responsibilities of the office of apostle, and gave assurance of their support for the man involved. In one way or another, but always with humility and expressions of unworthiness, each of the 7 men expressed his willingness to respond to the call and to serve to the best of his ability. It was also notable that each man had had a prior experience that prepared him and even told him that he would be called upon to serve in the office of an apostle. It was consistent among these men that they first responded to the thoughts they had received by chastising themselves for having such thoughts because of feelings of unworthiness. Once again the Lord was merciful as he responded to the prayers, asking for the strengthening assurance of the presence of his Spirit.